Darian of the Spotlight Raiders Talk, and you're watching Fan to Fan Network, the voice that sports fans deserve. Just win, baby.
Once a Raider, bruh, always a Raider, bruh. Shit, simple as that. You look silver and black. Lot of bread invested in that old line. Car insurance cost the arm and the...
What is going on, everybody? What is going on? We are live for another live stream. Las Vegas Raiders gets the win tonight. My boy Jay in the building. What is going on, man? What's up?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. How you feeling about this victory that we got today over the Kansas City Chiefs? How you feeling today, man?
Man, I'm loving it, bro. I am I can't even put into words, you know what I mean? Like it's I feel like we won a playoff game. I really do. It's crazy.
It does feel like we won a playoff game. Absolutely. It really does feel like that. I know I'm lagging, but I don't care. I wanted to have my green screen on and popping right now because I'm like ecstatic. Like it's just like, even though that we won the game at 1:00, like I wanted to do the post game, but I had to do, the other live streams and stuff like that. But like, what was your first initial thought knowing that the clock was going down? We stopped them and we got that W. Like, what was your first initial thing, man?
My first initial thought when we stopped them, dude, I was like, please don't blow it. Score. You know what I mean? Like, because these last two games, man, the offense has not been capitalizing. We talked about it in our game preview, a few days ago. We have not been capitalizing when the defense has given us an opportunity. And they gave us an opportunity, and they did exactly what I said they needed to do. They took care of the football. They played smart. They played clean, no mistakes, and they scored. They didn't settle for a field goal. They went for it on fourth down. They scored. I mean, they did everything that they needed to do to win that game, and the W is the result. And bro, we just beat the world champions that were undefeated in Arrowhead. Like, tell me that the Raiders can't win any game, beat any team in the NFL. And I'll tell you, you're crazy. When they play clean football, when everybody does what they're supposed to do, when they limit the mistakes, they limit the offensive turnovers, W's are a result because we have what it takes to win. Having Ruggs back, having Trent Brown back was a lifesaver. We were able to do what we needed to do.
Exactly. We did what needs to be done. And I want to get into a few things with this game. But I know you broke down your analysis of the game, so we can go back and forth on it. But I really want to start. I'll do the fourth. You do the first, second. We probably go back and forth. But I did write down a few things that really stuck out to me, and it was our defensive line. That's the one thing that really stuck out to me. The fact that we got 3 sacks on Patrick Mahomes today was very interesting. We could have had more. But I take 3 for right now. And you could tell that Patrick Mahomes was so exhausted by running out of the pocket and being distressed, trying to find a player downfield. And we didn't have a good start to the game. But once the defense started to pick it up, it really helped out our offense as well. So I want to see what you want to get into as far as this game, like what really stood out to you outside of the defensive line, or the defensive line did, I'm just excited right now, man. I just can't. I'm lost for words, man.
Man, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. What stuck out for me? Well, first of all, Henry Ruggs the third. Okay, come on, man. Two touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken. 2 touchdowns. He was burning. He was burning defenders. He looked like a first round wide receiver. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
That was, and Carr, the thing that stuck out to me also, in addition to that, was Carr. I was very impressed with Carr. He didn't let the small mistakes, become a pattern. He didn't let overthrowing. I think it was it Ruggs or Aguilar. He didn't let that stop him from taking that next shot. He had a short memory. And
no, it was Rico Gafford. I don't know somebody. It was the overthrow for Rico Gafford.
Rico Gafford. That's right. You're right. He didn't let that stop him. He had, like I said, he had a short memory. He moved on, and he kept taking shots downfield, and that's exactly what you have to do. You have to stay aggressive, and the same thing goes for Gruden. He didn't let that. He kept his faith in his offense. He kept his faith in his quarterback, and he kept pushing down the field. And I love it, man. It was great. Those are the two big things that stood out to me. I mean, there's a lot, really, but those two things, like I said, those two things gave us the ability to win this game.
Yeah, it definitely gave us the ability to win this game. Just to let you know that Henry Ruggs did only have 2 catches, but he had 118 yards and a touchdown. So you could tell that speed actually kills. And I said this in our post game preview. Our preview of our podcast earlier in the week. We said it. If we have Nelson Aguilar and Henry Ruggs on the field at the same time, you're going to have to defend one of them because both of them are fast. Both of them are fast, and I don't know. Honestly, I felt like their corners could not keep up with our receivers today. They just could not keep up with our receivers. In goal played tremendously well today. The heck of a run over that he did on Brashard Breeland, that was nasty. Number one, and the fact that we went for it on 4th down, that made John Gruden look like we were aggressive all game. It was something that we was conservative about. But at the same time, Gruden was aggressive, I could say, 90% of the game. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was several times, because I was in on the live play-by-play, and there were several times that people in the chat and myself included were like, okay, here we go. He's going to get conservative. We're up by 8 points, and so he's going to take his foot off the gas, but he didn't. He went for it on 4th down. Instead of punting the ball away and relying on the defense, he said, "You know what? No, I don't want to let Mahomes out on this field. I want to keep him on the bench because it doesn't matter how good you play as a defense. Patrick Mahomes, 9 times out of 10, will find a way to make it happen." And so he just kept his foot on the gas pedal and he kept on going, and it was a thing of beauty, man. As a fan, it was great.
It was a thing of beauty to see some plays that I never thought that we'll probably get a first down on. The 3rd and 18, that was ridiculous. Knowing that you had Derek Carr rolling to his right and getting Hunter Renfrow wide open on a 3rd and 18, even though that Carr really, he extended plays with his feet. The Chiefs only got 1 sack on us this whole game. So shout out to the offensive line. Just imagine if Richie Incognito was on that line instead of Denzel Good. Even though Denzel Good played well today, don't get me wrong. But just imagine if we got the full core. We just missed that one piece, and that's Richie Incognito. It did start out in the beginning that Josh Jacobs did start off pretty slow in this game. But Devontae Booker, speak on him, man. Devontae Booker played well tonight, man. He played well today.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Devontae Booker, there's a saying in football, when your number is called, you gotta step up. And Devontae Booker, I don't know if it was due to injury. I didn't hear anybody talk about it in the post game, any of the post game interviews. I could have been mistaken. I could have missed that, but I don't think Josh Jacobs, I don't know if he was injured or they were just spelling him, trying to rest him. I'd like to think that's what it was, that they were just trying to give him some rest. But no, they called on Booker, and he did the dance, man. He came through. I think he took advantage of his opportunity, and he gave Josh Jacobs a much needed tag team and much needed duo in the backfield, and the Chiefs didn't know what to do. They were on the ropes, man. They were staggered, and they didn't have an answer for it. If this is what we've got moving forward, a two-headed monster in Booker and Jacobs, man, defenses are going to have their hands full all day long, and right. I love to see it.
And they said that, Derek Carr didn't get sacked. He just got tackled behind the line. My thing is this, though. They still put it down in the stat sheet as a sack. They still put it down in the stat sheet as a sack. So he really didn't get sacked today, but that's what they put it down as, Charles Wyatt. What's going on, Miss Cutie? What's going on? Thank you for tuning into the chat. Really do appreciate it. Ingold needs to be utilized more. Word to Marcel Reese. Thank you. I think Ingold needs to be utilized more in the passing game. The guy can catch the football. He could do multiple things. He could block. He could help in pass block. He could help in run block, and he could catch the ball at the backfield. So that makes it like a fourth running back for us because, mind you, Devontae Booker played well. Jalen Richard played well. Just imagine if that third down play that, he kind of flicked it to Richard and he overthrew him. That could have been a first down. That probably would have sealed the game for us there. But I've been good, man. I've been good. I've been on YouTube, Vince. I've been on good YouTube, but it's all good, man. We are here. And we are live talking about the game. So I do want to get into a few things of like team stats going into this game, like with the passing yards, the passing downs, rushing touchdowns. I do got a few things in my arsenal when it comes to, looking up this game. So what I see, what was big for us was rushing. I think our rushing yards was the biggest key in this stat sheet that I have here. In rushing, we had 144 rushing yards to their 80. That is the difference there. They only ran the ball 20 times, and Patrick Mahomes threw the ball 43. Now, knowing that we held Clyde Edwards-Helaire to 10 carries for 40 yards, that is exceptional for me. Knowing that we was giving up 250 yards in the last couple games. And to get Clyde Edwards-Helaire, knowing he's a big back and he's powerful, to sustain him to 40 yards. What you think about that defensive adjustment that, Paul Gurtner did to try to, neutralize Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
Oh, it was great. I mean, the last couple of games, man. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say all 4 games, we were giving up, way too many yards rushing. Mm-hmm. It looked easy. It looked easy for opposing running backs of Carolina and New Orleans, to just run all over our defense. But this game, we actually held them to only 3 rushing first downs to our 8. That is a gap that will win you a football game every single time. If you can win in the trenches and you can establish a run game, we all know that is key, especially in Gruden's offense. That is key to winning the game and to having the scheme work in our benefit. And you saw that it did. They had 15 passing first downs and we only had 12. So you see how much the rushing, establishing the run game really, really does help, with winning games. It is a difference maker. So yeah.
It's definitely yeah, I agree. So they said Carr became the first quarterback since Flores in 1966 to throw for 2+ 50-yard TDs in one game. Interesting. That's an interesting stat there. But speaking of Derek Carr, I want to get into him as well because I think Derek Carr had a sensational game, in my opinion, even though that he did throw 1 interception, but he bounced back and threw 2 more touchdowns after that. And I think he didn't turn the ball over. No fumbles this game, y'all. No fumbles this game. That's a key factor for Derek Carr. But Derek Carr was 22 of 31, 347 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception with a quarterback rating of 126.7. Awesome for me. I think that's not bad. With Patrick Mahomes, he was 22 of 43, 340 yards, and 2 touchdowns and interception with an 83.5 passer rating. So, yeah, we started off bad in that first quarter, knowing that we got that deep ball to Tyreek Hill, but it was called back. And we didn't see much of Eric Harris after that. And we didn't see much of Tyreek Hill after a few plays that he had. So us on defense neutralizing him, I love the fact that we did that. But Derek Carr, I do want to get into him because he gets criticized no matter what he does. He gets criticized so much. And we've seen it in the chat today that he was criticized. Yes, we were frustrated at times, but I feel like after that first interception, he bounced back. So from your aspect, from what you were seeing, how you feel about, DC, in this game?
Well, he was back to 2016 Carr. I think that was one of his best showings to date. With how he played, and I mean, the stats are the stats, and we can read them all day long, but the intangibles that he had, like I said, him having that short memory, not letting the mistakes and the frustration keep him down, giving his defense a break, being able to have the mental fortitude to go through, and the use of his legs. I mean, we've been screaming for that forever. Like, use your legs, get out of the pocket. He looked just like pretty close to just like Patrick Mahomes, with him getting out of the pocket and scrambling and trying to extend the play and stuff like that. Is he as polished at it as Patrick Mahomes? By no means, but he played better football than Patrick Mahomes today. And that's impressive. And like I said, intangibles, the things that don't show up on the stat sheet, that's what made the difference today.
Yeah, so I mean, you really can't talk about all stats. You got to really talk about how aggressive we were. We was not backing down, even though they scored on us and they took the lead. We did not back down. We did not settle down. And what we did was we went right at them. We went blow for blow with the Kansas City Chiefs this whole game. We made a lot of things happen with this game, and I feel like Nelson Aguilar is coming into himself into this offense. I was kind of surprised not to see Zay Jones a lot in this game. How do you feel about that, knowing that we didn't see Zay Jones that much?
I'm okay with that. So, I'm just looking at because spreading the ball around is important. So Henry Ruggs had 2 receptions. Nelson Aguilar had 2 receptions. Darren Waller had 5. Hunter Renfrow had 1. Jalen Richard had 4. Ingold 2. Josh Jacobs 2. Witten 2. Booker 1. And Zay Jones even had 1 reception. So for me, we're an offense that's going to spread the ball around. And if we got our guys in there, that can do it. I mean, we may not have seen as much Aguilar if Edwards was in there, but Edwards being out with an injury, Aguilar is there. And so, having those 2 guys on the field at the same time, I think we talked about it before. Having those 2 guys on the field at the same time is very, very important. So I'm okay with Zay Jones not being there. Zay Jones will come in and make the plays when he needs to make the plays. And if he doesn't have the hot hand like Ruggs did and Aguilar did today, then he's not going to see a lot of playing time. So it's really up to him whether or not he gets more touches or not. So,
what a game, man! I don't know if y'all saw. I am exhausted doing that live play-by-play reactions. But before we get into anything, before we get into some more Raider stuff, I do want to say prayers up to Dak Prescott. That was a bad of a play. What happened to Dak? We don't want, as Raiders fans or as a football fan itself, we don't want to see injuries like that happen to a caliber of player of Dak Prescott. So, on the Spotlight Sports Network and the Spotlight Raiders Talk, we just wish, Dak gets back to a speedy recovery. And he's in surgery as we speak from what the news said, but prayers up to him as well.
Absolutely. Oh, hey, and I just have to make a quick correction because I'm always about correcting stuff if I misspoke. Ruggs didn't have 2 touchdowns. He had 1 touchdown. Aguilar had the other touchdown.
Yeah,
so that was my bad.
Yeah, because Waller had 1, Ruggs had 1, and Aguilar had 1.
Yep.
And that's
what Josh Jacobs had 2.
Yeah, and Josh Jacobs had 2 rushing touchdowns he had 23 carries for 77 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. I think he came on once. I don't know what it was with him in the first half with Josh Jacobs. I don't know if he was timid. I don't know what was going on with him, but you see like he started to pick it up in the second half. I don't know if it was the offensive line or what, because you see Booker do well in the first half to get that 43-yard run. That was ridiculous, but he was averaging a lot of yards a carry in that first half. But Josh Jacobs, I think he's coming back into himself. I think he was kind of like, how can I say it? I mean, I don't know if I say discouraged, but like the last couple of games, he has not been himself. And I think we saw that Josh Jacobs that we wanted to see in the third and fourth quarter. What you think?
You know, that's a good question, because I was wondering the same thing too. I mean, just watching the game and not seeing him out there as much. I think that a lot of that had to do with the offensive line. Trent Brown's been out for a while, and they even talked about it during the broadcast. He's been on the sidelines, working out, and he's been in practice, doing his recovery and all that kind of stuff. But that's not the same. That's not the same as those snaps. Now, he's a Pro Bowl right tackle, so he's going to bounce back. It's like riding a bike. He's got muscle memory. He's going to bounce back quickly. So it's very possible that maybe at first, he was feeling a little bit, when it came to the run blocking, he was feeling a little bit, rusty, and that just kind of wore off over time. But I think that having Booker there and Booker doing what he had to do really did also open it up for Josh Jacobs to not feel so much pressure, to not feel like, everything was riding on him when it came to the run game. So I think it's a combination of a few things. I don't think there's anything wrong with him. I think he's going to be just fine.
Yeah, I mean, I was just kind of nervous because, Booker was playing so well in that first half. I'm like, oh man, what is Gruden going to do now since Booker plays so well? I mean, you did draft him in the first round. He did play well last year, and he was kind of nicked up a little bit this year, but Josh Jacobs came out and he still to deal with us getting those 2 touchdowns. I have been saying it all year. I don't know what a lot of people don't see when I say it. Finally, we saw Jeff Heath today. We finally saw Jeff Heath today, and we put him in at the right time to get that interception on Patrick Mahomes. Now, I feel like he needs to get a little bit more time on the field, knowing that Eric Harris did play an okay game today, but he still struggled, especially with that big play with Tyreek Hill. Now, would you like to keep Eric Harris where he's at, or would you like to see, Jeff Heath gets more snaps at that safety position?
I really only saw maybe one real big, tackle for my gosh, his name just dropped out of my head. Not Heath, but who else we're talking about? Eric Harris. Yes, thank you. He only had really one big play where I saw that he made a good tackle and stuff like that. He's still a liability back there. I'd like to see Heath out there more. He had an interception today, and that's a thing of beauty. So far, out of him, Abrams, and Harris, Abrams and Heath have a interception, and Harris doesn't. And those turnovers are extremely important. We need as many turnovers as possible. And if you can't get the job done, he got burnt a lot. He missed some tackles. He is definitely not consistent. So I definitely like to see more snaps for the young safety. So
yeah, me too. I would love to see him, knowing that hopefully we'll probably get Malik Collins back this week, hopefully, but we're on a bye week anyway, so we'll probably see Maurice Hurst back, and we'll see Malik Collins back on that defensive line. And knowing that the defensive line losing those two players, we still play up to our par. That's just how I see it. We play up to our par. Max probably got another sack today. I don't know what the other 2 sacks were from who, but if we could have had more than 3 sacks, in my opinion. We could have had more than 3 sacks. It's been times when, you're always going to have your, like, how can I say, you're not going to be perfect in a game. You're not going to be perfect, number one. Number two, we only had 8 penalties a day. I mean, it's not that bad. The penalties wasn't that bad at all. So, I mean, we have some, I feel like, how can I say it? I feel like that first drive, when Colton Miller and Trent Brown got the false starts. Just imagine if we scored on top of the 40 that we scored. So it would have been 47-32 if that was the case, in my opinion. Colton Miller got to get better of not getting penalties. Last 3 games, most of those penalties came on Colton Miller. And I just think he needs to clean it up a little bit. Trent Brown, I understand you coming back off of missing 3 games. I understand that, but you have not seen a false start from them since. Defensively, we played physical, and we really didn't give up a lot of yards. Not a lot of yards, but we didn't get a lot of penalties on the defensive side either. Yeah, we had like a face mask on Jonathan Abram. Probably a pass.
Face masks flying everywhere.
It was face masks flying everywhere. It was a very physical game, and I love the fact that, like I said before, we didn't give up. We didn't quit. We was like, we're going to come out of here with a win. And that's exactly what we did. We came out of here with a win. And it's so much I could really go into. I got so much stuff written down. But we almost had 500 total yards on this Chiefs defense. Mind you, this Chiefs defense has been talked about in the media, how they gotten better, how Steve Spagnuolo had them being stingy. This and this. They didn't get no turnovers on us besides that one interception. They couldn't get a fumble on us or none of that. And we ran the ball right down their throats, and Derek Carr shredded them today. So the media can kick rocks, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, they definitely did a good job of shutting up the media and shutting up all the negative talk. I mean, even for Raiders fans, even for Raider Nation, there's a lot of people in Raider Nation that have been, myself included, very critical of this team and frustrated with the performance. The last 2 games, we just looked completely out of our league, quite literally, and it just it was really nice to see them come out and say, okay, you know what, this is what we can do. We're still a little bit banged up. We're not all 100%, but just these, couple of pieces and a couple of things that we can clean up, and we clean those up. And our offense and even our defense to a certain extent, is definitely a force to be reckoned with. And just to let you know, so Nevin Lawson had a sack, and then believe this, Chris Smith, whoever that might be, had a sack.
No, I know who Chris Smith is. We signed him during the offseason. He came over from the Browns.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I saw him. I'm like, I don't think I've ever heard that name yet. So it was Chris Smith and Nevin Lawson had the other 2 sacks. Hey, the other thing I wanted to point out too is, since we're talking about keys, I was just looking at the time of possession. Our time of possession, 35 minutes and 17 seconds. Their time of possession, 24 minutes and 43 seconds. So that's over 10 minutes.
Keeping Mahomes off the field.
Yep.
Keeping Mahomes off the field was the key. He sat on the sideline and let our offense go up and down the field on their defense. And I feel like pressuring him, even though that we didn't sack him a lot, knowing that we could have, but I think pressuring him and forcing him to go into throws that he did not want to throw was a key for our defense. Mind you, we didn't give up a point in the third quarter. Mind you, that looked just like last year where we couldn't do nothing on offense when we was in Oakland and they didn't score at all. I mean, they didn't score at all in that third quarter. It looked just like that from last year, but our offense is way better than it was last year. Mind you, we're putting up 40 points without a Tyrell Williams. That tells you something. Without a Tyrell Williams, we spread the ball around. I think Jacobs needs to be in the passing game a little bit more. I was kind of mad at Jacobs that he dropped that pass. He saw that linebacker and he got like a little afraid. I mean, that's just me. I don't know if anybody's seen the same thing, but I felt like he saw that linebacker and he took his eyes off the ball because Carr led him to get a first down on that play. So I mean, what's to expect going into this bye week? Going into this, week 7 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming up. Like, so how you feel about, us getting this week off? Don't you think we should be able to be more healed and be more rested going into week 7?
Yeah. I'm definitely going to answer that question, but I'm going to say something real quick since you mentioned Tyrell Williams being out. So here's where I'm at on that. As far as I'm concerned, let Tyrell Williams go. We have Brian Edwards and we have Henry Ruggs, who are both on rookie contracts. We re-signed Nelson Aguilar, who's looking awesome. And I mean, really, I mean, the way we have it set right now, we don't even need Tyrell Williams. We can let him walk and get some more cap space. That's just my opinion. Let's give the money to Nelson Aguilar. He's done more, I feel like, pretty much, this season than Tyrell Williams has done over the last couple of seasons. So anyhow, moving on to your question. Yeah, coming up against Tampa Bay, that is going to be a fun game, especially for Raider Nation, specifically because who are we going up against? We're going up against Tom Brady, right? Right. We want some vindication. We wanted it with the game against New England. We didn't get it. So now here's our second opportunity to go up against not only Tom Brady, but Tom Brady with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now let's rewind it back to the Tuck rule, right? Mm-hmm. Let's go all the way back to the Tuck rule with Tom Brady and New England Patriots. We fumble the ball, the ball is fumbled because it was a fumble, but we didn't get the fumble, right? So anyway, right. We all know what happened. New England goes to win that game, right? So then, right after that game, John Gruden gets traded to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The next year, we make it to the Super Bowl against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and John Gruden. Now we're playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Tom Brady at the helm.
And Gruden back at the Raiders. Ain't that crazy?
Back at the helm of the Raiders, right? This is going to be a fun game. I'm excited. It's like a storybook, tale. If we can win this game, it's going to be not only vindication for John Gruden, who people say, look, John Gruden couldn't win because, he inherited a team when he went to Tampa Bay, so he can't win with his own team. Not only that, but we get that sweet revenge against Tom Brady. So I'd love to see Tom Brady on his back for most of the game.
And I had to quote what John Gruden said, and they kept saying it during the live stream the whole single time. I love Andy Reid, but I hate the Chiefs. And that's exactly how we took that quote and we ran with it. And I think the accountability of Derek Carr saying that he's tired of losing, he had a team meeting for people that took accountability for their actions in the last two losses. That woke us up. I think this is a momentum change. Derek Carr got a win under Drew Brees this year. Now he got a win under Patrick Mahomes this year. Is it 3 times the charm? Can he do it with Tom Brady? I think he can, but we want to talk about that, once that week comes up, because we are on a bye week. Next week, I think our players can rest up, they can heal up, and we probably get Maurice Hurst. Imagine getting Maurice Hurst back and Malik Collins, and we're playing this way on defense.
Yeah, and hopefully, if not that week, shortly after that, we'll get Bryan Edwards back and get him back out there, and so that two-headed monster of Ruggs and Edwards, and then throw Aguilar in the mix. You got Hunter Renfrow. I mean, if we can get everybody back healthy, we talk about it all off season. We've been talking about it at the beginning of the season. Mike Mayock and John Gruden have really put together a great team. With all the pieces in place and everybody doing what they're supposed to do and being healthy, we have only seen the tip of the iceberg of what this team is really capable of. Mm-hmm. And that's the honest truth. I mean, we have talent on both sides of the field. So if everybody can just do what they need to do and this defense can continue to gel, continue to come together and clean up, because that's the biggest thing is the errors, man. The errors, shooting ourselves in the foot. Somebody said it earlier in the chat when we were doing the play-by-play and watching the game, the last 2 games we have not been beat. We beat ourselves. Yep. And that's the honest to God truth. But this time we didn't beat ourselves. We did everything we had to do and we came out with the W. So we just need to keep this momentum and moving forward. And it's going to be a good season.
It's going to be a good season. The fact that a lot of people thought that we was going to be 2-3 after 5 games. The fact that we are 3-2 and we are above 500, still second in the AFC West. The Chargers play tomorrow. They play the New Orleans Saints. We already know the Broncos are depleted. I still say we still be second in the NFC, the AFC West for right now. And I've been said, I don't know if anybody noticed, if y'all go back to all of the live streams that I did for the off-season talks, I always said it that we're going to beat the Chiefs at least one time this year. I don't mind that we split with the Chiefs. If we lose against the Chiefs in the following weeks, fine by me. But I said that we're not going to get swept this year, and I marked my word by that. And that's why I was so excited when I was in the live stream doing it, earlier today. Like I said it multiple times that the Chiefs, this is how you beat them. Mind you, Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens has a way better defense than us, and they couldn't even contain Patrick Mahomes. I mean, Patrick Mahomes still threw for 300 yards. They had 2 touchdowns, but he was under distress the whole time he was throwing the 300 and something yards. It was more easy for him to beat the Baltimore Ravens than beat us. That's just realistically here,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and everybody expected these 3 games going into playing Buffalo, playing Kansas City, and playing Tampa Bay. They expected us to lose all 3 of these games. Everybody predicted we'd lose all 3 of these games. Yeah, we dropped the ball when it came to the Buffalo Bills game, but we just won in Arrowhead against Kansas City, the reigning champions who are undefeated. Now we go into Tampa Bay with a not so Tom Brady,
right.
and that is a very, very winnable game. There's a possibility we come out 2-1 in these 3 games. And that's going to put us at what, 5-2 for the season.
Yep.
So I'm okay with that. I'm definitely okay with that.
Yeah, I'm definitely okay with that as well. And people might, like I said in most of the offseason talks, I said 9-7 or 10-6, one or the other for it because of what we have, in our division as well, knowing that Justin Herbert has been playing well for the Chargers. So now we have a Patrick Mahomes, we have a Derek Carr that's looking like the 2016 Derek Carr again, and a Justin Herbert that is young as well. So our quarterbacks in this league is looking pretty good. It's pretty solid for this AFC West and this AFC West, the division. And I can't wait to get more division plays. I think right now, I think the Chiefs are 1-1 in our division, and I think we're 1-0 in our division so far. Because I think they beat the Chargers. No, actually, no, they 1-1. They beat the Chargers, and they beat us. And this is our first divisional game. So, shout out to the Raider Nation, man. Shout out to everybody that was in the chat today. The chat was lit. I was excited about a lot of things. But what was the 3 key things for this W today? What was the 3 key things for you?
Three key things: taking care of the football, playing smart, everybody knowing where they're supposed to be, going back to basics, limiting the penalties, and then Carr extending plays with his legs. Those were to me, those were the 3 key things, because playing smart and everybody knowing where they're supposed to be on defense, that's gonna have that's going to shut down offenses like we were able to do today with Kansas City. You're only going to limit them so much because it's Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes, but everybody knew where they needed to be. Everybody was where they needed to be. They played clean. They made tackles. So yeah, that's the 3 key things for me.
So Olive Branch Production says the points off the board penalties we won, as we're a few penalties away from winning either the Bills or Pats game. It's about not beating ourselves. Yeah, we mentioned that as well. And he said we need to clean up some of the horrendous miscommunication on a defensive secondary, where we had 3 TDs this season on a complete blown coverage. I can say in the second half of this Chiefs game, I don't know what Paul Guttner did in as far as adjustments wise, because you even said it yourself in the chat. Let's see what adjustments will be made in the second half. And that third quarter, we covered their receivers very well. Nick Kowalski was definitely the leader of this defense in the second half. You saw it. He was all over the field, making tackles, deflecting balls. Trayvon Mullen, he got hurt earlier in the game, but he stepped up. And then you had, Jonathan Abram, laying the wood on Travis Kelce. I thought that they was going to really call that an unnecessary roughness, but they picked up the flag for that. So, man, it could have been so many things for me, like running the football. Time of possession was a big key for me, keeping Patrick Mahomes off the field. Derek Carr having a clean pocket. Offensive line, that's another key thing why we won this game. And the defense actually showed up when it mattered. And that's what I love about it. We only gave up 1 touchdown in the second half. One. Just imagine if we didn't give up that 24 points in the first half. We didn't give up a field goal. We didn't give up just one touchdown in that second half, which impresses me. What you think, man?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, when it comes to the defense, did they play perfect? Not at all.
No.
They gave up quite a bit. I mean, a 2-point conversion, we couldn't even stop that. I mean, that's that is ridiculous. We should have been able to stop that 2-point conversion. But when it counted, so here's the thing. Here's the key thing. When it counted, the defense made stops. Now, when the defense made stops, the offense scored points. Mm-hmm. If the offense can score points, right? If they can, even when the defense is struggling, if the offense can keep putting points on the board, when those stops come, even if they're few and far between, then we're going to be able to win games. We're going to be able to beat the Kansas City Chiefs every single time if we can do that. We're going to have to score 40 points if the defense isn't an elite defense. But as you can see with teams like Seattle and other teams, Green Bay, when you can score, you can win, obviously, even with a defense that's not all that great. And that gives the defense time to gel. That gives the defense a little bit of time to breathe. They don't feel so pressured. They're not stressed out because they feel like the players don't feel like they need to do everybody else's job. They can just focus on what it is they need to do. I mean, there's so many more things that go into this than just, our defense doesn't play right. Our defense doesn't play well. That sort of stuff. There's a lot more that goes into it. It's a team sport,
mm-hmm.
So we can sit here and we can pick and choose who's not doing what. But when it comes down to it, somebody has got to step up, whether it's the defense, whether it's the offense. Somebody has got to step up and spell the other facet of the game, or the other group of individuals, in this case, offense and defense, to let them take a breather and be able to kind of relax a little bit and actually enjoy the game more, because all players play better and enjoy the game more when they're winning.
Yep.
So hey, so I just want to say real quick, I was just looking at this, there's a very, very good possibility, and I'm not trying to put the cart before the horse, but there's a very good possibility that coming out of the game against Tampa Bay, that we could be tied with the Chiefs, because the Chiefs' next 2 games are the Bills and the Broncos. The Bills are it's a very, very losable game. The Bills are playing very, very well. Now, the Chiefs are going to beat the Broncos, but if the Chiefs lose to the Bills and beat the Broncos, if I'm not mistaken, they're 4-1 right now. That would make them 5-2. And if we can beat Tampa Bay, then we'll also be 5-2.
That would be interesting to see that we could be tied for first place in the AFC West. Shout out to Coach Keys. Hey, Coach Keys, what's up, there? I like the way your Raiders been playing. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate everybody in the chat. I heard feelings, BAL, Mike Lee, everybody that's in the chat. Thank y'all so much for definitely coming in. Thank y'all for coming in and being in the chat. We definitely going to take some questions here. And shout out to Dominique, because Dominique has said, Dominique 5 said, we have been on Paul Guttner, but he deserves credit today. He does. I think Paul Guttner does credit. I still don't like him. I never did. I never did when he was in Cincinnati. I never did. So with that being said, but I do give credit when credit is due. He made an adjustment that we've been asking for all year from Paul Guttner to make adjustments. And you see, he made a leap of an adjustment from the way we gave up 24 points in the first half, to not only giving up 1 touchdown in the second. Now that is considered an adjustment. And you notice that he started the blitz, and once he started the blitz, people started to get open. Then you see times where he dropped 3 and had everybody else defending. So he was mixing it up a lot that Patrick Mahomes didn't see.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, the crazy thing about it is watching the game. Some of the replays. Looking back at the game, and there were receivers that were open. And Patrick Mahomes just didn't see them. And that is because, like we talked about in the preview, our defensive line was getting pressure on him, was causing him, and I said it. If you put pressure on Patrick Mahomes, he's going to run out of the pocket. He's going to attempt to extend the play. He's going to make wild, crazy throws, and he did, and that caused an interception. That got Heath his first interception of his career, because we did exactly what we needed to do, which was put pressure on Patrick Mahomes, get him uncomfortable, and he will put the ball in really, really bad places so that we can get turnovers. And so that's exactly what we needed to do, and that's exactly what we did. And then Coach Key said Nelson been balling. Coach Keys, I'm assuming you're talking about Nelson Aguilar, and I agree. He's been balling out, and I'm loving it.
I'm loving it too, man. I'm loving it too, and I cannot wait, until we, get another challenge towards us. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and you look at our schedule. Our schedule is looking pretty tough. It is coming up looking pretty tough. Looking at the Browns going 4-1, that's going to be tough. We went through most of the tough games, but at the same time, you got to look at what the Miami Dolphins did today, beating the San Francisco 49ers the way they did in a convincing way. So with the next games coming up that I'm not nervous about, but if we can keep this thing rolling, we will be fine. We got the Buccaneers, the Browns, Chargers, Broncos, Chiefs again. That's our next 5 games. So if we could keep this going and keep playing the way we play, like we played today, I wouldn't say. We could definitely try to win the West, because we got to see what Kansas City Chiefs got to do. I think we could beat the Chargers, and I think we could beat the Broncos. So the belief is there, y'all. We just have to keep the faith. And we do have a lot of negative Nancy's in the Raider Nation, but I think everybody on prospective teams had a negative Nancy. But it was one negative Nancy that was in the chat the whole game talking about we got to choke, we going to blow it. I'm like, no, we're not going to. Listen, just keep the faith. That's the issue that I had today in the chat. That's the issue. That's the only issue I had in the chat today.
Yeah, and I never, as a fan, it's one thing to be, to be somebody who looks at the game, who analyzes it, and that sort of stuff, and that's all fine and good. Like I said, I'll be as critical as anybody, about the Raiders, because I just love the sport of football, and I appreciate the sport of football. But when it comes right down to it, your fandom, I can't. Who bets against their own team? You know what I mean? Like, who expects their own team to lose? I always expect them to win, and if we lose, I'm mad. I get upset about that, because I expect our team to win. They get paid just like everybody else. You should be winning games. If you get paid just like everybody else, if you got drafted just like everybody else, you should be winning games. And if you aren't, then that's a problem, and that's why I get mad. I don't understand why people get upset when they expect them to lose. Well, you expect them to lose anyway, so what are you even upset about? I get upset because I expect them to win. So they need to get their butts out there and win.
Right. They definitely need to get their butts out there and win. Absolutely. I see y'all beating the next 2. Defense has to stay solid. That's what Coach Key says. Raider Nation CR says, demonstrate that we can compete with the AFC West. Why not? A lot of critics will say that we can't compete with the AFC West. A lot of critics say that. I don't say that. I feel like the division can be very winnable, and we showed today that the Kansas City Chiefs are not invincible. Yes, Patrick Mahomes did have some crazy throws that was insane, that was unreal. We cannot see another quarterback do in this league. Let's just be 100% about that. Like, we won the game. Don't get me wrong, but we saw some stuff today that I don't think Derek Carr could ever do. So like, I'm just sitting there, like, it was times where it was like, it is so unreal the way he just slings it like sideways, going away from his body, and they catching the ball. Like, it was just insane. It was exciting to watch, but I'm like, darn it, like, I gotta be a Raiders fan at the same time. So we get the win 40-32. What is the thing that we need to do to build off this win?
I was just gonna say, Florida boy said Gunther survives another week. I thought that was funny. um, so, what do we need to do? You said, what do we need to do to build on this win?
Yeah.
First and foremost, we need to get healthy. Everybody's got to get healthy. Thank God for the bye week, because that's going to be crucial moving forward. Because we know these games, as we get towards the end of the season, they don't get any easier. And if for some reason we either win to the division or make a wild card, going into the playoffs, man, that's a whole other beast. So we need to get healthy. We need to get our guys on the field. Our starters on the field. And, just keep continuing to play clean football, continue to make improvements. There's always things to improve. We did not play a perfect game by any means. We played darn near perfect when it counted. So that's why we won the game. But there's always things that we can improve upon. So yeah, like I said, we need to get healthy. That's crucial. Carr needs to continue to work on his extending the plays with his legs. Looks like he's been working on that for a while. And it's starting to get better, but he just needs to take that next step. And then the other thing is our secondary has got to tighten up the coverage and be more disciplined when it comes. I mean, we were watching the game and I posted in the chat. I mean, LaMarcus Joyner was literally let Tyreek Hill run right by him, and didn't even, that was his man, and he didn't even do anything. There was one play that I saw that I don't even know who it was, but it was a D lineman, and he was not in a 3-point stance, and he was stood up, and the ball was snapped. And he just kind of he was walking backward, and he just watched the running back just run right by him, and he didn't even move, stuff like that. Like that has got to be improved. You've got to be more disciplined. You've got to be more aggressive and keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing, and don't let up.
Right. That's what we really have to do. And knowing that we did play the Saints, we played the Bills, played the Patriots, we played the Chiefs, and we came out 2-2 out of the 5 games with the playoff teams, because Carolina wasn't a playoff team last year. That's impressive to me. People didn't expect, like we said in the pre-show, like we said in the show on Wednesday, they didn't expect us to be at 3-2 after 5 games. They did not expect it. They thought that we was going to be at least 1-4 or 0-4 or something of that nature, where we're not winning games.
Some people said 0-6.
0-6. I don't know what they're seeing out there, but I don't know what y'all doing to piss the Raiders off, but keep doing it. Don't play at all.
I mean, it's been a tough start to the season. It's been a tough schedule. We're playing playoff teams. Right out of the jump, with a young defense and some new starters on offense. So it's been a challenge, but to come out of it right now, going into the bye week at 3-2, I'll take it all day and 3 times on Sunday.
Yeah, so if y'all do have any questions for us, we are taking questions right now. If you do have any questions for us, please put them in the chat right now. It is the Spotlight Raiders Talk, and we're going over the game of the Raiders getting the win over the Super Bowl champions, Kansas City Chiefs, 40-32 your final. So it's like we've been saying before, like, keep doubting us. That's what I'm gonna just keep saying to the media, like ESPN, NFL Network. Don't praise us, because when you praise us, we do bad. Keep doubting us, because this is how we play when we're doubted. Like, we were doubted. Nobody gave us a chance to beat Carolina. We beat them. Nobody gave us a chance to beat New Orleans Saints on Monday night. We beat them. Nobody gave us a chance today to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I think nobody in the world, even Las Vegas itself, in the betting world, didn't even give us a chance to win this game in Kansas City. Knowing that Derek Carr has not played well in Arrowhead after all these years, didn't really get a win in his career, I think, did he get a win in Kansas City at all in his career?
Nope.
He's 0-7, right? In Arrowhead, right?
Yep.
So now 1-7, as you can say. And he had one of his best games of his career. Well, I mean, not his career, but one of the best games of the season in Arrowhead. So I
don't think he's thrown more than 2 touchdowns in Arrowhead.
Right.
I think this is his first game, if I'm not mistaken, his first game throwing more than 2 touchdowns.
All right, so Greg says, I would love it when we win the division, playoff games in the Super Bowl. We won't hear the haters, normal trash talk. They won't have nothing to say. Listen, I'm not even thinking Super Bowl right now. I'm taking it one game at a time. One game at a time.
So I'm mistaken. He's only ever thrown 1 touchdown at Arrowhead against the Chiefs. He's never thrown more than 1 touchdown. And he just had 3 touchdowns in this game. So that's a heck of an improvement.
Oh, 1-6 at Arrowhead. Okay, not 1-7. He's 1-6. Okay.
Yes.
Raider Nation CR says, do you think the bye is now good or bad at this point since we won? It says at a point that we won and it gets high motivation. I think the bye week is something that we needed now to get our players healthy, like a Brian Edwards. And we already know Damon Arnett. We don't know when he's going to come back, but it gives another week to chill for Richie Incognito to come back as well. So we have some key players that could definitely heal up, and we had a few banged up today, and that gives us that week off to re-heal and get better in this game. Jose says on Facebook, we have to play with heart. If the Raiders play with heart and give it 1,000%, like today, clean up the turnovers, we are a playoff team. He said it right on the money.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the bye is good for us. This bye is good. I think it comes at the right time to me because it's right before week 8, and that will be the half of the season. So I think it comes at the right time for us. What you think?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I think it's a perfect time. We got Ruggs back, we got Trent Brown back. That gives them another week. If for whatever reason they might have tweaked something or something isn't feeling 100%, with them coming back from injury, it gives them another week to rest up and heal up and do their recovery and their training and stuff like that. I think it comes at a perfect time. And then B Al put in the chat, Chiefs versus Bills, who you picking? Yeah, I'm not really into breaking down, those 2 teams, but if I had to pick one, I'd say right now, probably the Bills. I mean, the Bills are flying a little bit higher than the Chiefs after today. So I think the momentum is with the Bills, but yeah, we definitely need this bye week. This is a perfect time for us, going ahead 3-2 in the season into a bye week is wonderful.
Man, going into this bye week is very essential for us, and I cannot. I really hope that they clean up. We can clean up the mistakes as well during the bye week, and it gives enough time for Edwards to come back and be healthy too. What's up, Grimy Raider? Grimy Raider, what's going on, brother? What's going on,
What's up,
man?
Grimy Raider?
Grimy Raider, what's going on, man? Shout out to you, man. I know that you was over there doing your podcast as well. I had to, hop off of yours and come do ours over here at the Spotlight Raiders Talk, man. It has been an awesome time talking Raiders football these last couple of the days, and man, it's just like we won. It felt like we won the Super Bowl. Like that's what it feels like because we've been so bad against the Kansas City Chiefs after all these years, and John Gruden and this coaching staff prepared this team to fight. And I think this is the most fight that we had since the last 2 games with the Patriots and the Bills. Those 2 games we dropped and we didn't look too well. And we looked better. We looked way better than we did in the last 2 weeks. And it was a team win all across the board. Special teams, you see them coming down the field, hitting them hard. You seen the defense getting sacks, getting to the ball, shutting down Tyreek Hill to the utmost that we could. Offense, Derek Carr looking good. Josh Jacobs coming into himself. We spreading the ball around. We're aggressive. Darren Waller's getting back into himself. I'm excited to see what things look like. Just hope we just keep that momentum high and keep that fight through the rest of this season. Any final words that you have before we head out? Because, I mean, it is almost 15 minutes to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my end. I've been sitting in this chair since 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with the morning show, the Raiders game, the Red Zone, and now this. So I just want to lay down and just watch Sunday Night Football. Any final thoughts that you have, since we have a bye week coming up, any final thoughts on this game?
Man, no, like, I mean, I think we pretty much covered everything. We just, like you said, we just need to keep grinding and not relax. This is a huge confidence booster for us. So I'm excited to see, what we've got moving forward. We get a whole extra week to practice and get guys back healthy. So, I'm really excited to see, who's going to be coming back for the Tampa Bay game. That's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm really excited to be putting out some more content over the bye week, and having some other things that we can do, things that we can analyze and, information that we can bring out to Raider Nation, because, that's what we're here to do. So I'm excited about it, man.
I'm excited about it as well. What's going on, Twan? Shout out to Twan from Keep Pounding TV. Shout out to Twan. There are some Panther fans that I was debating with in week 1 that we got into some heated debates about that game, man. And so shout out to Twan from Keep Pounding TV and the Keep Pounding TV team. Y'all came over and supported the live stream today. I really do appreciate it. Y'all did get the win over the Atlanta Falcons, which I picked the Panthers to beat the Atlanta Falcons. So shout out to Twan and Keep Pounding TV. But if y'all have not subscribed to J Raider 77's YouTube channel, I will put the link in the description once this actually uploads. I will put in the link in the description. Let me see if I can get it at this moment. Oh darn, I'm on the wrong YouTube channel on my phone. But I want to thank everybody for coming out, man. Thank everybody for coming out. I'll put the link in the description and I will put it on the community post as well. I'll probably put it on the community post once we done this live here. It's been awesome, man. It's been really awesome to see this game go the way it went and just win, baby. Just freaking win all day, every day. Have a blessed Sunday. Have a blessed night. I know it's still nice over where Jay is at because he's on the West Coast. Unlike me, it's dark and yeah, my day is typically over.
Hey, so I put the link to my YouTube channel in the link there, or in the chat there for you. And I'm gonna be talking about tomorrow. I'm gonna be talking about our defense, and I'm gonna be posting a video on kind of like basically answering the question: does Paul Guenther's scheme leave people with an opportunity, or leave players with an opportunity to make big turnover plays like the interception that we saw today on a more consistent basis? So we'll be talking a little bit more about that and kind of breaking that down. So
yeah, so please go over to My City, My Game featuring J Raider 77. The link is in the description. The link is in the description, not in the description, but it's in the chat right now. So make sure y'all go over there and definitely check out Raider J. He's definitely a great analysis when it comes to these Raiders breakdowns, and he definitely knows the game of football. And he's smart at it too. So I'm happy to have him on the Spotlight Sports Network team. I'm happy to be a part of Spotlight Raiders Talk. It's definitely dope. It's definitely dope to have him on. Thank y'all so much again. Just win, baby, and we'll see y'all during this week. We will be doing a podcast show this week. I will be putting up a video called Victory Monday. That's what I'll be calling it. So I'll be putting up a video of Victory Monday, having a video recap of the game as well. So thank y'all for tuning in, everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in. It's the Spotlight Raiders Talk. It's Raider Nation. We are in the building. Comment, like, and subscribe to the channel, y'all. We're out of here. Peace out.
Once a Raider, bruh, always a Raider, bruh. Shit simple as that.